Jim, St. Louis is home to a couple of the world's largest coal companies, Peabody and Arch. One of them, Arch, just took the word coal out of its name, changed its name to Arch Resources. The other one, Peabody, has just disclosed that it might be facing bankruptcy for the second time in 4 years.
That's right. Peabody went bankrupt in 2017. Now it's going bank. Might. If it can't work out things with creditors, go bankrupt again. And this is happening under the Trump administration, which has been, getting rid of environmental rules. So it's apparently not the environmental rules that's taking it down the tubes. It's gas, the price of gas.
Yeah, it's the markets. Natural gas is so cheap, and renewables keep getting cheaper and more competitive. I mean, Ameren, our St. Louis-based utility, just announced a plan where it would be using zero fossil fuels by 2050. They'll be phasing out their big coal-fired plants, and they're one of the most coal-intensive utilities in the nation.
They are. They're 50% coal generation, and the nation is about 23% coal generation. Ameren is 50%, but it used to be 80%.
Yeah,
and Ameren is pulling that number down. They're going to close their first coal-fired plant, the Merrimack plant, in about 2 years, and then phasing them out over the next 20 years.
Yeah. It's hard to see a very bright future for these coal companies. I mean, Arch is shifting its focus almost entirely to metallurgical coal, which is used in making steel. But Peabody also has some of that. They've got extensive operations in Australia where they ship coal to China, which is still at least a viable market. So there is a future, but it's going to be a much smaller company and much less lucrative than it was in the past.
I know, and you think this means more bad times for those coal areas, those little towns in Illinois, in southern Illinois, where if you got a job in the coal mine, it was the best job you could possibly get with a high school education. It promised a middle-class life. It was, Gillette, Wyoming, out in the range where the only decent job is in the coal mine, or in those hills in West Virginia. It just means depression for certain pockets of rural America.
That's right. Wyoming's, Peabody's mine in Wyoming in the Powder River Basin it's the largest coal mine in North America. They just wrote the value of it down by $1.4 billion. And Arch has a mine right next door, which is also huge. They're essentially, reducing production and saying they might either sell it or phase it out over a period of years. And this is the Powder River Basin is the most efficient, cheapest coal to mine in North America. That was a decade ago. That's where everybody thought the future of the industry was.
Well, in Wyoming, you have other energy, you have fracking, you have wind power. Perhaps that can save part of their economy, but in these little towns in southern Illinois, I see no hope for them.
No, it's going to be tough for any community dependent on coal. Trump came into office saying he was going to save coal jobs, but the industry's in worse shape now than it was in 2016, and primarily because of the fracking revolution, bringing down natural gas prices, and continued efficiency improvements in solar and wind.
The upside of this is basically a cleaner environment, less pollution, less carbon up into the atmosphere. A win for the environment, a win for the rest of us, a big loss for anybody whose livelihood depends on coal. What do we do for those people? I mean, is there a rescue for them? With all the Biden administration will be, of course, coming back and being tougher on the coal industry, tougher through environmental laws. There should be some sort of rescue for these communities that are being destroyed by this, I think.
No, I agree. I think we could have some sort of compassionate programs to, to put relief money into those hard hit communities, job training programs perhaps. But it's, yeah. But, when an economy, a local economy was entirely dependent on one industry, it's just not going to be the same.
It won't be the same.
Yeah.
And if we wanted to look at our electric bills, we are benefiting by a transfer to gas because it's cheaper than coal.
Right.
But Ameren will have tremendous stranded investments as it gets out of the coal business. It's already paid for these plants, and it's going to have to replace them. They're building a huge solar farm, west of here. There's an investment in there, and so I'm not sure what all this means for our electric bills going forward.
Well, those are the stranded costs are some issues that are going to have to be addressed by regulators. How much of that gets kind of eaten by Ameren shareholders just because made an investment in something that was not viable over the long run, and how much of it are they allowed to pass on to us ratepayers? That's going to be a question we're going to see. So our rates could go up a little bit if they decide a certain way.
Yeah.
But as the cost of wind and solar keeps coming down, I have to think that's going to be good for consumers
over the long run. I know, and that gets me to disclosing my conflict of interest here, because I am a shareholder in Ameren, and my wife used to work there until 2011, and I have to disclose that. And my daughter used to work for Peabody until a few years ago. So, this comes home to me.
Yeah, you're very familiar with those industries.
So I'm wondering if my electric bill perhaps goes up, maybe my Ameren will raise the dividend and I'll profit that way. So I don't know.